Hello, I'm TJ. This is my channel, TJ Does Life, and that's my brother behind me playing Left 4 Dead 2. I'm pointing that out because I know that if I don't point it out, then someone else will point it out and they'll act like they want some kind of prize for recognizing a game that a lot of people play. I don't know what that is on the internet. Like, if anything is in a frame of a video that's the least bit obscure, or not even really obscure, but if anything is like in the frame of the video, someone feels the need to point it out. Like if I was wearing like a little Mario pin right here, people would be like, "Mario pin for the win!" And then they'd have like 57 upvotes. Like, yes, I also noticed that. Yeah, I don't get that particular imperative. I don't really know what to talk about. The channel, of course, is named TJ Does Life, but I don't really do life for the most part. I mean, you can just ask anybody. Most of my life consists of sitting around in my room watching Netflix on my iPad or my brother's iPad that I'm borrowing for the time being. Lately, you've been watching the show Monk. I like that show. I like any show about someone who solves mysteries and is smarter than everyone else around them, especially if their intelligence is actually more of a detriment. Because in my experience, it usually is. I was thinking today, and maybe I shouldn't get into this because I was going to do this for an Amazing Atheist video, but I'm going to have a very different take on the Amazing Atheist video. Well, not different, but more brief and probably a little less rambly. But there's a politician, and I don't remember his name. I have it written down. He is the former governor of New Mexico. This guy, you know who I'm talking about? Former New Mexico governor.
You mean Bill Richardson?
No, not him.
I don't know.
Former governor of New Mexico. He came out, Republican governor. He came out and he is now saying that he supports the legalization of marijuana. And that pisses me off. It doesn't piss me off because I oppose the legalization of marijuana. It pisses me off because I am so fucking sick of politicians saying that, they find this big, massive set of brass balls as soon as they leave office. Like, yeah, when I was in this position of power, I never mentioned this position. I never fought for this. But now that I'm a private citizen again, I stand up for this right. Stand up for it when you have some ability to change it. I am so fucking sick of these politicians who find their balls after they lose their power. It's really easy to advocate for something when you're just some fucking schlub off the fucking street. It's a lot harder to advocate for something when you actually have the power to change it. And it seems like Democrats have this problem more than Republicans, although it's on both sides of the aisle. The Republicans, a lot of the times, they will take a stand for crazy shit while they're in office. And that's why that party keeps getting pushed further and further to the right. And, the left doesn't stand up for anything, which is why they get dragged further and further to the right. I'm not the first person to make this observation that we have a center that keeps moving to the right in this country because the Republicans take a step to the right and then they demand that the Democrats meet them in the middle. But it's not the middle anymore. It's still the right. And, that's a very frustrating thing. And it all has to do with weakness. And it doesn't have anything to do with compromise because a compromise is when I have my ideals and someone else has their ideals and we, come to a mutual agreement that, somehow we'll come to some sort of arrangement where I get some of the things I want and you get some of the things you want. The compromise in our political system now means that we will water down our position significantly only to have you continue to oppose it anyway. That's basically the new compromise. It's like, you don't like our bill? All right, well, we'll soften our bill. Okay, you still don't like it? We'll soften it some more. You still don't like it? We'll soften it some more. And then you still don't get a single vote from the opposition. They still just don't like the bill. There is no compromise. The Democratic, what was the Democratic compromise on the tax cuts? the Democrats didn't want to give tax cuts to the rich, and the Republicans said, yeah, you better give those tax cuts to the rich. And then the Democrats said, okay, sure, we will. That's not compromise. That's not even close to a fucking compromise. Where is the compromise? That is compromise. That's not a compromise in terms of reaching an agreement. That's a compromise in terms of compromising your own principles and just saying, yeah, this doesn't really matter to us. You know, the problem with politics in America now is that, you know, there was a time in America where, you know, the Republicans were the hard-eyed pragmatists who said, you know, let's not spend this money. Let's lower taxes and lower spending. And then the Democrats were the party that said, yeah, let's tax people a little bit more, but give them a lot more for it. And now we have two parties that both just say, oh yeah, no taxes, but spend away. Just keep on spending. Just spend, 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 spend. You know, and that, you know, the Democrats, they love their entitlement programs. The Republicans, they love their big fucking elaborate wars. But I mean, you know, when it comes right down to it, the Republicans get in office and they keep the entitlement programs going. And when the Democrats get in office, they keep the fucking wars going. So no one wants to cut anything except taxes. Keep on slashing taxes. Keep on slashing the money you bring in, but don't stop spending. Keep spending. In fact, spending increases. And whenever someone does propose any sort of spending cut, it's always a drop in the fucking bucket. Like, we're going to cut $50 million from the budget. Like, $50 million? Are you fucking shitting me?